Velma from Scooby-Doo. Is it Velma? Which one is the one in the orange? Velma. That's Velma. Yeah, Velma's ass is cute.
Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We're here to discuss Rob and Sophie in the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Sorry if my voice sounds crazy and I'm sniffling a little bit. I'm fighting a cold, but we're here and we're here to discuss the mess. So aside from discussing a little bit of the episode that came out on Sunday, there's a lot of behind the scenes drama going on between Sophie and her mom and crazy new allegations on Rob with video stuff. It's a lot. But yeah, let's just dive right in. Before we do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, Rob and Sophie are finally going to therapy. And at this point, I'm just like, is this worth it? You probably should have just never got married. But, you know, here we are.
Do you feel good about this?
Do you feel good about it?
Yeah. I'm glad that we are going to go to therapy now. How about you?
She can't form an opinion for herself.
We do need to talk about them, but I'm also very nervous about how that might go.
Right. She also just doesn't, she's not perfect. So it's so interesting. I mean, I don't like Rob, but she also, like, what has she done?
I'm also still skeptical about Rob having a second phone. I looked for the whole phone again after Rob went to bed last night. I checked everywhere in the house, it wasn't there, so then I checked his car, and I just didn't find it.
So, okay, I would love to know what you guys think about this whole phone situation, because we obviously heard through the mics that whatever phone was buzzing ended up with his voicemail. But everyone is like, oh, like, everyone, I mean, Sophie and her mom, they're like, oh, there must be a phone. There must be a phone. All of it is really strange, right? Like, because it had to have been someone's phone that was present because there was obvious buzzing. And then it went to his voicemail. And then she's like, oh, well, I didn't find a phone. And I'm like, well, there was a phone and he realized in that moment that he could have been caught. If I were him, I would take it out the house. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that she didn't find it. So, yeah, he either doesn't have a phone at all and someone was calling him, or he did have a phone and he got rid of it quick. Probably took it to a friend's house or something.
Nice to meet you. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sophie. For now, I'm just going to let it go because I'm trying to utilize this time to actually fix our issues. And so I don't really want to start a huge fight with him about this whole phone when I don't even have proof that there is one.
Correct. Pick your battles.
I would like to start by hearing a little bit about you. How did you guys meet? How was it at the beginning? How was that?
You start.
Not me.
Because I always usually do all the talking, so I want you to do more talking too.
They act like they're strangers.
We met like 4.5 years ago. I'm from England, London, and at the time he lived in LA, and I found him on social media.
Immediately, I knew she was beautiful. And I was really looking for a down-to-earth, person. I felt like I'd found that in Sophie.
It's funny that he says that he was looking for someone down to earth and that she was down to earth, when he has spent the entirety of their seasons being like, Sophie is high maintenance. She was raised in a rich family. If she thinks she's going to have the lavish life, she has another thing coming. So for him to be like, in turn, oh yeah, she was down to earth, only to villainize her and to weaponize her needs later is funny.
I moved to America and we got married. He's like 32. I'm 24.
33.
You're 33?
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I mean, it's not a big deal, but he's passive aggressive and she can't let something go. They're ridiculous.
When you had just turned that age, so
I've been 33 for like 8 months.
I
It's one of those
can't.
things that makes you feel like the other person just doesn't quite care about you if they don't remember your own age.
I don't think it's like that.
I'm not going to hold it against her. I'm just going to chalk it up to I just look younger, so it's hard to say that I'm older when I look so young.
yeah.
Wow.
What?
That's so funny. Because it's not a big deal, but You know he's gonna like dangle it later because that's just what we've seen him do.
So, what do you think is happening with your relationship? What is something that you wish would be different?
We have a lot of like arguments at home. Like we
Mm-hmm.
bicker constantly. I have some trust issues with him, which I think I still like subconsciously like resent him for.
Right, but in terms of the bickering, is what I was saying. It's like it takes two to escalate something, so it's not all Rob. You know, I mean that kind of awareness is hard to have. I think at any age, but I think it's especially relevant because she's so young.
Like he's never physically cheated on me, but it was online, and so I think that's also like affected our intimacy as well.
That's still cheating. I don't think I don't think she should downplay it because it was virtual. And as for it affecting their love life, their intimacy, I'm sure that has a part of it, but I think another part of it is that she is over him. She does not seem like she's into him. That's my read on it. I would love to know what you guys think. Oh, I just don't feel like she's fully into Rob anymore. So I think that while these issues are real and would affect any relationship, I think that she is using it as an excuse and a crutch to keep her distance from him.
Typical that Sophie would bring up the online cheating. And it's like I can't say nothing because her feelings are valid and mine are invalid.
Why is he upset that she would bring up their main issue at therapy? That's what it's for. That's what therapy is for, to discuss your issues, and that is an issue. He's such a little.
So I'm really hoping the therapist can kind of help us move on from our past issues and understand what we can do now to move forward.
But that is looming
So,
over you.
how would you describe your sex life right now?
Right now we don't have one. Like I have the mental block of like, what if
Right,
he's thinking about the girls online, and so I don't really want to be physical with him.
right.
And then he wants me to like dress up every time I have sex. I feel
You
like
dressed up one time to have sex.
because I don't want to.
It's not even about the outfit. It's about that's for me.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to touch you. So she especially doesn't want to dress up for you. I feel like I've been having this conversation a lot with some friends of like partners don't realize that sex happens way before you're in the bedroom. Like it happens when the day begins. It happens with how you're talking to each other, how you're complimenting each other, the lingering looks, the lingering touch. Like there's so much that is considered intimate before you get to it. And so I can already tell that Rob is one of the guys that's like, let's do it right now. And she's like, you've been a dick to me all day. Like the last thing I want is to lay with you, you know? So him thinking that the answer is a freaking costume is comical. And even as he's saying it, like, oh, well, it's for me. Precisely. This whole thing has been for you. Like, what are you doing for her?
It's just about my wife looking sexy as hell. She did that for me. Like, 'cause she knows I like it.
She don't want to touch you.
I'm into the costumes just because I think it's hot. You throw on like that little sexy skirt and a little bunny ears, whatever, and I come home from work and we can get it cracking. I think she would really rock it. Velma from Scooby Doo. Which one is the one in the orange? That's Velma. Yeah, Velma's ass is cute. Who else?
Daphne's
Nah, not Daphne. Daphne can go home. I also think it would be real hot if Sophie was in the maid costume. Not because I wanted to be a maid,
Yes,
but
you
just
do.
because it's a hot ass outfit. It's like the skirt and then the little duster. The duster though, hot.
At this point
I
in our
can't.
relationship, we haven't had sex in so long that I feel like you need to knock that wall down.
Listen, I believe in everyone being an active participant in initiating the act, but she hasn't been intimate with him because she doesn't feel safe, because she doesn't feel secure in her relationship. That's why she's not close with him. He, in turn, is like, well, we haven't done it in so long, so if you want it, you're gonna have to come after me. And it's like, that's actually backwards because you are the reason why it's not happening. So you should be performing. You should be turning up the romance to make her get back to that. So he obviously doesn't get it. And maybe, yeah, therapy is important to talk about it, but he's already so annoyed that she's bringing this up.
It's so bad where she's now like, she moved out 3 months ago.
Yeah, that was bad.
And she's just now moving home. Because she finally decided to maybe try and work on this relationship.
But it takes two.
What made me move out was basically, like after we got married, I found out he was speaking to multiple girls online. You shouldn't be flirting, receiving naked pictures, him telling them they look really beautiful and asking for more. To me, that's cheating.
That definitely is.
And it hurt, like, my view on myself. The types of women that you do look online, like, they don't look like me.
But I feel like she would, if anything, if they did look like her, that would still be an issue. She'd be like, oh my God, like you're trying to replace me. Like, oh, obviously you do like them because they look like me and you like me. So I don't understand where she's going with this argument, but overall it is an issue.
Like muscular, fitness, bodybuilder women, I don't look like that.
You be in the gym.
So
It's not crazy, like fit, muscular
fitness
women.
chicks is one thing. Bodybuilder women?
So what?
That is literally like some fetish deviant ass.
He's so embarrassed and he can't get past it.
There's a
Rob, and why?
category of men that like to.
The therapist is speaking and he is fully ignoring the therapist because he can't let it go. They both have this issue where like they really will take something for a spin. They cannot let it go. And he's like, I think in this moment, he's aware that he's on camera. So he's like, you're making me seem like I have this weird kink. Like, it's not even like that. And he's missing the point, but his ego just he can't take it.
Bodybuilder women, and now that's who I am.
Rob, I'm gonna kindly stop you
Yeah,
now.
dude.
A lot of things need to change.
But I did change. The
He
thing
didn't.
is, a conversation.
You're interrupting me.
I'm not like this porn-addicted bodybuilder fetish guy. Like, what? That's
The
not
therapist
who I am.
is like, hello.
In my defense, they are pretty muscular. You don't see these type of women just walking around. They're like serious fitness, muscular women. He'll like save their photos and like all of their photos, and he claims it's for his fitness inspiration, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Men like Rob really shouldn't be players because they're terrible at it. What do you mean you're saving their fitness photos as inspo? No, you're not. Listen, these fitness gals, they have the most toned booties. I can see how it would be a fitness goal for everyone else. But let's be real, Rob. You're like, I want that. This is just so funny.
Let's be real as to why you follow them. They post all ass shots.
Correct.
Like, that's again him invalidating my feelings. He makes me feel stupid for feeling upset over things, and this is why I hate being vulnerable with him, because I should be able to have emotions and not feel like I have to hide them.
You
Stop
should.
lying. If you're gonna lie, I'm not doing therapy with you. Be honest.
Lie
Just say,
about
I'm
what?
sorry, I hurt your feelings. What can I do to help our relationship?
The thing about Sophie, though, that I'm like, and again, I think it comes with age, because when I was in my 20s, I was a stupid, stupid bitch. But I did not get married to someone. So this man has shown you so many times that he doesn't handle vulnerability well, that you're not going to have your feelings validated when you need them, only when he feels like it. And that's hard. That's hard to sustain in a friendship. It's hard to sustain in a relationship. I can only imagine in a marriage. And it should have never gotten to this point, right? But I feel bad for her because she keeps pleading. And it's like, you always end up at this spot. And there comes a moment where we have to realize, like, we are allowing this. These people aren't going to stop as long as we keep giving them access, so we have to cut that off. While I do think that he has a lot of fault and it's, being magnified by this meeting, I don't think Sophie's being honest about where she's at. And it's not, in turn, it's not fair to Rob because he's also being spun around. So it's complicated.
As much as you want to change is going to be very hard with all this anger and resentment.
Yeah.
Because when we're angry, we start blaming each other, we lack empathy, and we start complaining more than asking for what we really need.
Correct.
It's frustrating when he's the one that hurt me. And then now, like, this shouldn't be a, like, argument. He should be, I'm sorry, what can I do?
He should be apologizing, but if you're not willing to forgive someone, if you're not willing to get over something, that's perfectly fine. You are entitled to that, but then be upfront about it. But to then say, yeah, I forgive you, and then bring it up over and over again, it's a bit counterproductive, and I can understand Rob's frustration with it, where he's like, I thought we were already past it, and I'm trying to get closer to you, but then you keep pushing me away by bringing this up. I thought we were past it.
Women that you follow or entertain are more muscular than me, is what I meant. I don't have the same body type. As I wasn't trying to have a go at you.
I am open to how you feel.
I know, I get it.
I'm open to how you feel.
I want to hear how you feel.
I want to validate Rob
He's not.
because there are a lot of judgment around sex. So he's just afraid that he's going to be judged.
I feel like Sophie is here to convince the therapist that I have some sort of kink.
That's
I'm not
not.
into girls who have buff arms. I'm not into girls who have the necks and everything. Like, that's not. I'm not into any of that.
That's not what
And when
Sophie's
I do
saying.
watch porn, because I haven't had sex in forever, I watch very, very normal.
Rob, no, you don't. And it's perfectly fine that you don't. And that's not the point that Sophie was trying to make. And I just think it's so telling that this is what he's fixated on.
And what I like is Sophie's body. So I was like, I'm not watching anything that isn't what I would have if I could have what I really want, which is Sophie.
They're both so guarded.
It upset me and it triggered me. And I appreciate you trying to open up, and that's what I want.
When I bring up like the online cheating or
I appreciate you. I appreciate you opening up. That's all I wanted. They're both so ridiculous.
like anything like that, it's not because I'm trying to make you feel bad, it's because I'm looking for like reassurance. I'm comparing myself to like girls you look at online, and then it makes me insecure. And then when I'm insecure, I'm like mad at you. Like in that moment, I just want you to be like, oh, I love you, you know, and just like reassure me that like you think I'm beautiful or like I'm everything that you want. And I feel like you never tell me things like that.
He doesn't.
Just say something nice.
He doesn't, but she doesn't either. I think they really are emotionally stunted.
Nice to me.
I can say something nice to you, but that doesn't
The
mean
only
why I'm
nice
sexy.
thing you said to me in months is, you look nice.
Being so
If you
defensive.
can't tell me something you tell like your wife that you're obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
I married this girl. I love her. I find her the most beautiful woman in the world.
Say that to her.
It sucks and it hurts to hear that my wife doesn't feel like she's attractive to me. Some things that Sophie would probably love to hear because, it's like I say, damn, you're so beautiful, but then it seems like that's where it ends.
But why does a compliment have to lead to something? This is someone that you love. You should just say it. So you only saying it when you know that it's going to be transactional is part of the issue, Robert.
Like my fear is that I can sit there and try, but it's never, since you don't even know what that looks like, it's never quite gonna be it.
He loves talking about the act of trying without doing the trying. He loves to be like, well, even if I do it, you're not going to do this. How about you do it and you see what happens? So defensive. And I think that part of it is that he doesn't want to seem soft. He always wants to be like cool. And it's like, she's lived with you in an apartment that didn't have indoor plumbing. Like, I think the facade of cool is gone. She's chosen you. Love on her or lose her. I think we're past the cool part. So it's just so interesting that he's like so like, I want to be cool and chill. And it's like, this is your wife. And she doesn't want to touch you because you don't have an ounce of romance. Get some.
You can try right now. to say something nice.
You want me to try to make you feel good right now?
Yeah.
It's so sad. Like, you want me to make you feel good? Even the way he says that, it's like he's doing her a favor, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I just, maybe I'm picking at it too much. Affirmations are really important to me, and just speaking to someone with love, like, I don't know, even if he were to do it in this moment, if I were, I mean, then again, I'm not married, but if I were Sophie, it would feel like nothing to me. It would feel cheap to me because I had to beg you for it. It's important to affirm your partner. It's important to water them. It's important to speak to them with love and let them know how attracted you are to them. And it doesn't have to lead to anything. It's just speaking from the heart.
Beautiful lips. I love your eyes. Your gorgeous body. You make me warm inside.
He's saying all these things about her physically because he's like, he can't get sex out of the brain. He's not saying, like, I love your spirit. I love hearing your laughter. Like, he's not saying anything about her person. It's all physical, like she's an object. And it's, again, so telling.
I'll take you home and do some things to you. It's like this is mine. I love it.
Possession.
Do that every day. Well, not every day, but most days.
Or else.
No, but that already makes me feel like I like you again. Was that difficult for you?
Clearly.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was difficult?
Like, I think those things, but I don't, like, say those things.
Do you like to hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I call being intentional.
It's about being selfless.
Thanks.
How do you feel like doing after this session? What are you inspired to do?
I'm gonna try to say what I think more. I mean, when you walked out of the bathroom, booty bouncing, I'm like, damn, you got the beautiful fat ass. I love that ass. Like,
That's perfectly fine. You know, like, obviously you want to be lusted after from your partner. That's perfectly fine. If there was something else, you know, like something with more significance. Also, he's saying all these things in front of the therapist. It's a little embarrassing.
I don't know what type of PG-13 she wanted here.
What about you, Sophie?
Oh, dress up as a bunny.
A bunny? Word?
Oh God, she's gonna dress up.
You just buy the outfits then, and I'll just wear them.
Sure.
This is all I ever even wanted from Rob. Like, even though he's struggling, it's still, me seeing that he's really trying.
It's
to
crumbs.
make me happy. It's a good step towards me being able to trust him again.
Yeah,
Let's
I don't
close
know.
this moment with a physical action. You want to share to shoulder how you feel and then choose how you want to close this moment.
Oh.
You can choose to hug, to kiss.
Even the way he leaned on her and she's just like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on
Just
this.
leave it here.
You can hug me. Yeah, you can.
Oh God. He's clearly into it and I don't buy it.
Rob and Sophie's biggest challenge is that they don't trust to open up to each other. There has
No.
been pain that has not healed.
Guess we'll see what happens next.
And what happens next is that in the next episode we see them shopping for said costumes. So that'll be interesting. But you guys, over the weekend, there has been so much news revolving this couple. I've been keeping up with it with Kiki and Kibitz. I think that's the channel, as well as Moving Mad. They've had the receipts. I usually like to just report on the show itself, not any of the behind the scenes stuff, but I do still like to keep up with it. And I've been watching those channels, and it first started off with actually Karen from Karen's Cheesemate Corner sent me a message like, Nikki, have you seen Sophie's mom's Instagram? And it was early morning and I had crust in my eye and I was like, girl, give me 1 second. So I go and I look, and Claire, Sophie's mom, had posted a series of stories including footage of Rob just being the worst to Sophie. This is footage that Sophie had sent her mom, maybe as like proof, safety, for safety keeping. Trigger warning if you've experienced domestic violence. Um, I'll include the links to the channels that I mentioned. But Claire posted this footage of Rob threatening Sophie, Sophie feeling like she was in danger.
You are the fucking toxicity in this fucking relationship. Because if I was an asshole nigga, I'd be whooping your ass right now telling you ain't going nowhere, my wife.
Who talks like that?
And she just went on to talk about just like how much the relationship with Rob and also her friendship with that girl Kay has really put a strain in her relationship with Sophie. And apparently Claire and Sophie had a fight a few days ago and they're at odds right now and they're not talking. And there was proof of a text of Sophie basically being like, my mother has mental health issues. If she continues to try to exploit me, like I'm gonna cut her and my family off. And for like a few days, it seemed like Sophie was clearly just in an abusive situation, which I still think is possible. But it seemed like everyone was keeping her away from her mom because her mom is the one person that was trying to get her out of it, right? That's what it looked like for like 2 days. Next thing you know, Claire is arrested, and it's like the craziest charge I've ever seen.
10th, Claire was arrested. Yes, she was. She was arrested in Williamson, Texas, okay? And she was charged with terroristic threat of family/household. It's a misdemeanor charge, and she is being held on $5,000 bond, okay? As of today, she is still in custody.
Texts come out, and they're super explicit. Trigger warning on trying to harm yourself and others. But the texts are just of her talking about ending things for her and for Sophie. And they're really scary stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and link the videos with these reports from Kiki and Kibitz and Moving Mad that I watched because they go into it in a lot more depth. But I mentioned those to say that Sophie, I really feel for her because we've seen in the episodes that we've seen of her in 90 Day Fiancé as well as Happily Ever After that she has a hard time finding sense of self, has a hard time forming her own grounded opinions on things. And it breaks my heart because she's young, and obviously when you're young, like you're like a sponge and you're more likely to take in people's opinions on things. And I'm just like really worried because obviously she had a rough upbringing with her mom having some addiction issues and having to navigate that and raising herself, and then also trying to navigate a relationship with a man that is 10 years older than you and is manipulating you allegedly in his own ways. And I can say that with what we've seen and then that very, very incriminating and telling video that was released. So I really feel for her because I don't think that she has had the best judgment in friends and partners, given that she may be searching for that closeness and that sense of family. Obviously, we don't know the full story, the full scoop on what actually happened, but I really hope that Sophie is safe. I hope that the best outcome possible happens. Obviously, the text that I saw from Claire, they're so disturbing, and I can only imagine what Sophie must be feeling in this moment. To feel like you can't even trust your mother, like to feel in danger in that way. It seems like she is still with Rob. And so there's also a text thread of one of Rob's friends saying that this video is old, it's about 2 years, there was an ongoing issue between them, but that it's painting Rob in the wrong light. and that they're still together and that they're fine, and that the villain in this story is Claire. I think that multiple things can be true at once. I also think that there's so much more that we don't know, like I said. But yeah, overall, I just really hope that Sophie is safe and that she gets help, because if my mother wanted to do the things that I read that her mother said that she wanted to do, it would steal my peace. And I want peace for her mentally and emotionally, because that's some hard stuff to deal with. All of that to say that one of the things that Sophie said to her mom was that she's just doing this for cameras, allegedly. So it also has me looking at this scene like she's just putting up with Rob to make the money off of 90 Day, you know? Because I do feel like she's checked out, and you can see it in her body language, you can see it in the excuses that she brings up. I think that she is used to Rob because they've been together for X amount of time and you do build a codependency. But if it were to come out for real, that they're just doing this for cameras, I would believe it. I would love to know what you guys think about the show and also the behind the scenes stuff. Let's talk about it in the comments. And yeah, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on my future recaps. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.